Kuzabakiriho Jean Damascene. Nafashwe 2001 mu kwezi kwa karindwi. Umva hashize imyaka 19.
Damascene is among the 3.2% of Rwandans who have been diagnosed with diabetes. Those without access to insulin and proper medical care are at risk of losing their eyesight, body parts amputation, or even death.
Narwaye igisebe mu kirenge. Banyeje Kanombe ngezeyo. Nageze mu 2012 nabwo ndi bakankura n'abaganga nyine baba specialist bakamvura birangiye bavuze ati n'ugutera imetero bakagakata.
Rwanda's health insurance system covers an estimated 98% of the population. Insulin costs are paid for by the insurance, but test strips and other supplies are not covered. Therefore, patients are supposed to pay for them by themselves. Moreover, most patients like Damascene are very poor to afford the medical supplies. 12-year-old Mugabo Kelia and her 6-year-old sister live with type 1 diabetes. Her condition made her leave boarding school because she was unwell many times and sometime in a coma for a long time.
nacyo gishize mba ndarwaye ntabasha kugenda nuko bahamagara mama tujya sehashika bantera umuti kijya nta muti nari mfite bambwira yuko papa azanzanira undi muti noneho nkajya ntegereza uko ntegereza ariko nyine nangereka mu mubiri isukari ikaba nyinshi nkaruka nkamenya ikintu cyose maye nkakigarura mu nda hanjye nuko mama yohereza umuntu aza kumfatanya Bugogo tugenda sashika bantera umuti nongera ndazunzamuka ngaruka nakize kuva ubwo ngubwo nakongera kurwara sinzongera kurwara niga naha.
Many people in rural areas cannot afford blood glucose meters, so they must go to hospitals to check, meaning their blood sugar levels are rarely known. Coming from a poor background, most do not have access to the medical supplies needed to manage the disease, such as test strips, and aren't able to follow a daily balanced diet.
Damascene ahitaba intangarugero rw'uko hariho icyizere cyo kumuntu ashobora kuzemana igihe kirekire. Kera rero ntuvuge uti diabete iranyishe Damascene imyaka 35 nawe ushobora kuzayigira cyangwa se ukanayirenza.
Kelia's dad lives in fear every day, worried that anytime his children may succumb to diabetes as they do not have access to blood glucose meters, which means they take insulin without testing.
Rero harubwo yafashwe araremba neza tubona sa ngo tujye gusubira muri koma nibwo twagiye Kanombe y'amana aho twamaze nk'icyumweru. Kuko nk'aba ngaba ntushobora kubaha ibintu birimo isukari, ntushobora kubaha ibintu birimo umunyu mwinshi, ntushobora kubaha ibintu birimo amavuta, biba bisaba ibintu byabo byihariye bitarimo isukari, bitarimo umunyu, mbega ni ibintu bigoye ntabwo biba byoroshye.
Gerardine Uwera was diagnosed with diabetes at an early age too. Not so many diabetic children in Rwanda are lucky to have the health care that they need to live with a condition like her. Her travel to Rwanda recently from the United Kingdom has inspired her to advocate for poor children with diabetes to live a long and better life.
My name is Geraldine Trada and I'm 17 years old. I'm a type 1 diabetic. Life with diabetes can sometimes be a bit of a roller coaster with many highs and lows. I feel like living in the UK, I'm quite fortunate. I have the support of doctors and I can easily access medicine. However, with many young children in Rwanda, their story is not the same. After visiting Muhima Hospital, I got to realise that I was very fortunate with the things and opportunities I have, and seeing their conditions and how they live with this illness was very upsetting, and it shouldn't be the case. This is why this cause means a lot to me and my mum, and we hope to help the children, support them, educate them so that they don't have to think twice about living with this condition and can live a normal, happy life.
And like Gerardine, Jean Damascene will travel 50 kilometers to be able to get his blood sugar checked once every month. Besides being amputated due to diabetes, he most times goes to sleep on an empty stomach as he cannot afford a daily meal.
umva ni amatike, wumva mfata moto imvana hano ikangeza ku Kamonyi, umva araza akayafatira 1000, kuva ku Kamonyi ngera i Kigali naho ni ikindi 1000, ubwo ni 2, kuva Nyabugogo wenda ubwo ugera ku Kinamba ubwo ni nka 500, ubwo ni 2500. Umva rero ayo mafaranga ntaho nyakorera nawe urabibona, icyo kurya ni ikibazo gikomeye rwose, kuko umuti tunywa ni uburozi kandi ni n'umuti, ni ibintu bibiri bifatanyije. Buriya wabonye icyo kurya byanakoroha, gusa iyo utabibonye urituriza umuti urawureka, kuko ntabwo wafata umuti utariye. Inzitizi ya mbere ni icyo kurya.
Tracy Mutesi is Geraldine's mother, who has decided to advocate for poor people living with type 1 diabetes. She is the founder of Geraldine Trada Foundation that supports type 1 diabetics in Rwanda. Having lived with her dad who succumbed to diabetes and a daughter with type 1 diabetes, she knows what it means to see a loved one injecting 10 times a day to survive or to be able to eat.
Geraldine was first diagnosed when she was 12 years old. She had just joined secondary school, and it was a shock to me and my family to find out that she had diabetes. Because my dad had diabetes as well, I felt like my world had come to an end. So, because my dad passed away 2 years ago, and one of the reasons was because of complications due to diabetes. If you don't really take care of this condition, it can really take you down. So what I want really to do with Geraldine is to create awareness, go to schools, go everywhere, and try to help children, especially in Rwanda, because we know it's now on the rise and children are diagnosed every day. I'm calling all well-wishers to support this cause. I know there are some people who are willing to help, join hands, because most of these people who are actually diagnosed with diabetes, I've met some children who are not in schools. I've met some children who don't have financial help, especially even if it's simple as food. Most people are in poverty. They don't have transport. They live very far from hospital. What we do is to finance them.
GT Foundation provides social support to 15 most vulnerable families who have members with type 1 diabetes. The foundation provides test kits and essential foodstuffs. Balancing regular blood glucose testing, multiple daily injections of insulin, healthy food choices, and physical activity can be very demanding to these patients who are very poor. Social support like what GT Foundation provides helps with diabetes control. This kind of assistance puts a smile on the face of Kelia and her diabetic colleagues, as it goes a long way in supporting their families to provide for them. Tracy's dream is to ensure that all patients are educated about healthy living and are able to each have a blood glucose test kit, as well as manage the daily challenge of living with diabetes. With this support, diabetic people in Rwanda are able to feel stronger physically, mentally, and emotionally. GT Foundation provides support to only 15 families. Imagine what the remaining young people who still need insulin and test kits could do with their lives if they could properly manage their type 1 diabetes. Imagine what life is like for thousands of young people who still need test kits and insulin just to see another day. Imagine the difference you can make. Join GT Foundation and support us to give children in Rwanda diagnosed with type 1 diabetes a chance to live a better life.